Welcome to Lindamood-Bell Radio. I'm Dave Hungerford for Lindamood-Bell. And are you looking for a way to make a difference? Work as a tutor for Lindamood-Bell. Our learning centers are seeking energetic, positive individuals from diverse backgrounds. You'll receive paid training in our founders' evidence-based programs, and you'll help us teach students of all ages how to read and comprehend to their potential. Visit lindamoodbell.com for more information. Here's today's episode.
Okay, so my name's Karen, and I'm Cora's mom. We've recognized for a long time that Cora had challenges with reading, even when she was in Académie Catholique Ange Gabriel, when she was taking her French classes. We recognized that she had challenges reading then. And the teachers had indicated to us that we could just wait. She was probably just fine. It was just a regular challenge that a lot of kids had in terms of their ability to read. And I pushed a little on that one, and I got her a psychoeducational assessment, and they did indicate that there were challenges. So that's why we decided to move her to the English school. I had to learn French for work, and we wanted to give her the opportunity to have be bilingual and start at that from a very young age, because she was super smart and she picked things up really quickly. When we moved her to the English school, we started her with an individualized education plan with the school. We worked very closely with them. So she had extra supports. We got her a tutor. We thought we had everything in place to get her what she needed in terms of her schooling. And she wasn't on a modified program. She just had extra supports. So the marks that we were getting back from the school, we thought were reflective of a child who was doing fairly well, even though she was struggling with her reading. And when we got to a certain stage when she hit high school, we recognized that there were even more challenges with her ability to comprehend what she was reading. And so we asked for another psychoeducational assessment. And this one really did show that she was doing well in almost every area except for the ability to read and the ability to comprehend what she was reading.
We really separate the decoding versus the comprehension skills. They were able to do that for you in that testing?
So to be clear, because I'm certainly not an expert in these areas. You know, I have my own things that I understand. This was one that I struggled with. So I believe the way the assessment came back, they were very clear that she had a lot of strengths, but where her weakness lied, they felt like she was at a very, very low level with the concept of decoding, I guess. For the comprehension, I'm not 100% sure if that is accurate, but definitely her levels around that skill set were super, super low, way below average. So they told us, and I really appreciated what we got from the psychoeducation assessor. She was very clear that Cora needed extra help, but she focused on, you know, some of the immediate things we could do, which is get her technology that she could use to read things to her, right? So different types of softwares like Kurzweil or DragonSpeak. But so we did that. We got her a laptop. We figured out how to get her some of that assistive technology, but she didn't seem to make a difference. So
it's not addressing the issue straight on.
It's not addressing the issue.
Support on side light things.
Right. And I didn't know what to do. I really had no clue what to do. I struggled for about a month trying to decide what to do. And I was talking to my girlfriend who's in California, and she mentioned Lindamood-Bell. And I knew that my niece, and these are niece and by family, right? Cora, I think we talk family, but she had struggled with reading, and she had gone to Lindamood-Bell. And Ruby always said, Karen, I wish you had a Lindamood-Bell. I wish you had a Lindamood-Bell close. You know, it works. And so finally, I just figured with COVID and everything else, I'm just going to call, I'm going to find out. So I sent an email, and I got a response back very quickly. And we set up the assessment was free to do, right? So because I already had an educational assessment done, I was able to provide them with that assessment. They were able to use that and support me in an individual, the testing that Cora would have to do. So it went Really well. Cora is very good at working with different people and engaging in new situations. So she was very open to do it. When we got the results, I was a little bit devastated. I knew she was reading at a low level, but I had no clue it was that bad across the board. And I felt bad because, you know, we put so much effort into trying to get help for her, but really this was a base thing she needed in order to be successful in her schooling. And so I felt awful, but we looked at the program. We decided we wanted to invest in it, and we set it up. And it's been phenomenal right from the beginning. I got a lot of naysayers coming at me, like, how do you know it's going to work? And it's an investment. Are you sure that you can do this? And I kind of blocked it all out. I was focusing on, I need to try everything I can to try and get her what she needs.
What was it that changed? I mean, those are all legitimate questions, I think. What is it that kind of sold you or changed your mind as to taking the plunge?
I think personally, the fact that I knew of someone who had taken the plunge and did have success, that was a huge benefit to me. It was, and I had faith in these people, so I knew that this was worth the effort. If it didn't work, it didn't work, but it was worth a shot to me. That someone would just focus on these skills for reading and help her get to a level that she can at least be a little bit more capable of reading in everyday life. She couldn't read a menu. We get mail for her and she couldn't read it. Birthday cards, you know, she'd always hand them to me. And her grandmother always wanted her to write her letters, and Cora couldn't write the letters. So it was a stress that grandma was like, please write me a letter. Please do this. You know, it was a stress for her. And she went, I think the day I noticed it, even though I've seen the progress, but the day I noticed it was when I asked her to write on a birthday card. Normally what she does is she'd write, love you, Cora. That's what she would write. And she took this birthday card and on her own wrote a message to her aunt. Just this beautiful little message. It wasn't long, but it was a beautifully, clearly articulated message that before would have just been love you, Cora. Right? It was that my heart kind of just swelled when I saw that. And it just grew from there. She would pick up a menu and order her own. She would walk into a doctor's office and fill out an application form that had all these questions. With COVID, you have to answer so many questions. She would just read it, answer it, move on. It was like nothing. But to me, it was so different. She could engage in the world in a much more comprehensive way. And it was wonderful.
It's great. Yeah, sometimes it is those little things that really stick. You know, that was almost cinematic. Just that little detail of that birthday card shows so much. And did they must have, as she was going through it, I think we have like weekly, or we used to have weekly or maybe bi-weekly parent consultations. What were those like over the course of the time? Because I think she was there as many months, right?
Yeah, I mean, all of February, March, April, May, June, July. So 6 months, 6 full months. And we did it, I had an update with them every 2 weeks. Cora, her father and I are divorced. So she spent a week at her dad's, she spends a week here. And so she would do the program at both places, but she would do her updates with me. They would do the updates with me. And they were awesome. I loved the updates. It was wonderful having an opportunity to chat with a person that was monitoring her progress, but also engaging in the updates that were very detailed in terms of her progress through the programs. You know, you could literally see over the course of 2 weeks how much she was able to progress. And the way that they engage to support Cora with awards and sort of, I'm trying to think of what the word is, but like little prizes now and again. They would provide her
motivators.
The motivators, yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know that she cared about the motivators, to be honest. She really felt good when people got together and sort of celebrated her, even if it was just for 30 seconds. She loved that. But and she appreciated the Starbucks cards when they came. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know that she never said, "Oh, I'm this many points away from a Starbucks." Like that never came up.
Well, it's nice that even being online, you're able to have sense of community a little bit, or at least
You
engage.
know, she had instructors from all over the states. Sometimes they were coming from Texas, sometimes they were California, sometimes it was Minnesota, but she loved it. And she loved meeting all the new people. She had her favorites. And when it came down to her very last session, everyone got together, and they were all on different screens, obviously, like on the one screen, but everyone got together and celebrated her, and they provided her with just a little sentence or two about their experience with her. And she read through that and cried. Like, she knew everyone. She's just the type of person who can engage in person. She's still struggling with expressing herself. She's building her vocabulary. That's next. She now needs to build her vocabulary to improve her level of reading even more. It's a progress, and you have to use it, right, to improve. So she's still working on that aspect, but it's it's been wonderful to watch her do it. And the fact that she loved it, like, I really didn't expect that I would never even once have to say, you need to get ready for your course. You need to do your course. Not once. She would come home from school, grab a snack, do whatever, come down, and she would work for 3 hours. That was it. No complaining, no nothing.
That's great. Well, yeah, speaking of that vocabulary, I mean, if you think about it, she had many years developmentally where words were just not being absorbed and being put in the
That's her.
Rolodex or the file cabinet of vocab. So
Her vocabulary still remains a challenge, but it's been increasing. And they gave us tips and tricks to use at home. So we have a word of the day that so we just open up the book and we look at a word of the day, and we look at the definition, and she'll use those in sentences. We went out for dinner probably a few days after she was done her course, and she used a word in a sentence and didn't say anything for a little bit, and then, you see, Mom, I'm using my word of the day. Like, she's proud of herself, and I'm really pleased for her.
well, that's great. That's really nice to hear. I think you told me last time when we talked initially that like some of the numbers of her test scores, how they increased so dramatically.
Yes, and I don't have them handy to refer to, but she went from a grade 1 level to a fairly strong grade 7 level. She's working at the grade 8 level. Um, and I think that as this year progresses, we're going to see an increase in that grade level as well, because she's really engaged in her law class. Her teachers are super proud of her. And they're all asking me about the program as well, so that's nice. I've had quite a few people come and ask me about what we did, like how did we go from Cora having so many struggles to answering questions in class like there's nothing. I think one of the anecdotes was I'm just trying to remember what the exact word was, but somebody said, "How do you spell high in this context?" So, and Cora said, "Do you mean high as in hello, or do you mean high as in high?" And the person said high. She went HIGH. And some of her friends who were around her they started to clap, and they were giving her high fives because they're not used to Cora having that kind of an ability. She's very lucky. She has a strong personality. She doesn't put up with people maybe making fun of her because she can't do something. So people were, I guess, supportive of the fact that she maybe needed extra help. So within 6 months, she went from a grade 1 level to a strong grade 7, working at the grade 8 level.
Wow, that's like a 10 times
6 months.
increase, you know?
Exactly. And she went from being in the well below average category in a lot of the testing areas. I think in at least 2 of the testing areas, it became a strength for her. So it was a weakness that became a strength. It wasn't even average, it was a strength. And it was like unlocking a box. She went from not understanding the environment that she was in, not being able to comprehend things, to this light bulb going off where she looked at the page and she understood everything that was there. We really believed that she probably was dyslexic or she had some sort of other learning disability, but the test results came back again and again. She did not. She really just didn't know how to read. She was never taught how to read at a level where she understood. It's a basic skill, but it's one I think the school systems are not necessarily able to do a good job to help support the kids. Their classrooms are too big. There's such a variety of learning skills and styles in a classroom. So it pains me that it took me this long to find you, but having the experience has been life-changing. I think that it's a skill. I think what you offer is a skill that not everyone has in terms of how to teach somebody how to read properly. And again, our schools are chock full with people. The expectations are ridiculous in some cases. And how do you get to everyone? You do the best you can.
Yeah.
But there's so many people falling through the cracks. And I think the average age, the reading age, is way below what it really should be.
For sure.
So, yeah. The administration of the program, they were very engaged. Well, not engaging. How do I put this? The administration of the program made me feel like I could do it. And they helped me figure out how to do it within, the budget of what it costs to do this program. But it was an investment I would do again in a heartbeat. And when and if she wants to go back and do a tune-up or take that next, because there's more that she could do. Yeah. When she's ready for that, I will be ready to support her. It's that much. It's worth it. The other thing that I found was incredibly beneficial is that they offer their services with the post-testing to figure out where she is and what else maybe they could do to get her to, what her actual goal was. Our goal at the time was the grade 10 level. We wanted her reading at the grade 10 level. But to go from a grade 1 to a grade 8, essentially, we were thrilled. What they also did, though, is they offered their services to her tutor as well as her school in order for them to be able to understand exactly what Cora had been taught so that they could encourage that in their environment. And I found that to be a gift. It was another opportunity for her to have that support around her so they were talking the same language.
Well, I hope things get better shortly. It sounds like, at least academically, they are. That's good.
Yes. The teachers are very impressed with her so far. And I think that she's opened up now to different options. So she had ideas of what she wanted to do, but now that she can engage in subjects a little bit more, I've already seen her start to change her mind. So as the more courses come, I think she'll see that she has other options. One other thing, I think it started yesterday or the day before. It started on Tuesday. She's always, how do I put this? When we realized that Cora was struggling in grade 9, they wanted her to go into an applied program, which is sort of the college route. So in Canada, we have universities and then we have colleges. So the colleges are sometimes more trade perspective. So the academic would go on to the university. A bit of a lower level, I guess, would go to college. And I wanted her to stay on the university track. But we did decide in the end, it was her choice. She tried the courses. She was struggling in them, so she dropped down. And now she has this desire to go to university. She wants to try something different. And she on her own went to her counselor to find out how she could do it. What did she need to do? So when she mentioned she wanted to do a grade 13, that's like an extra year of high school because she knows she's going to have to get more courses. But she came up with that one on her own. So it's another indication that she's got the self-confidence and the skills that she knows she can do whatever she wants.
That's fantastic. Having that ownership and, getting the big picture. That's a good sign for comprehension, having a big picture and saying, this is where I want to go and find out how to get it done and then do it.
She's always been very good at self-advocating. I think I've helped her along those lines, but I think she put limits on herself. Or she said she didn't care, but she did care. And this has opened that up, and now she's advocating for herself to go where she wants with her schooling in the future, which I think is pretty impressive.
Well, I want to thank you so much.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
And thank you for listening. Learn more about us at lindamood-bell.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are Lindamood-Bell.